Hi friends, today we are doing some Valentine crafting. So I have a little bit of home decor for Valentine's Day. You guys know that when we moved, I downsized a lot. I like to simplify these days, but our new home has a new style, so I had in mind a few projects. Today we were going to be doing some Valentine crafting that is sort of, I think, a little bit more modern, and I'm really happy with them, so let's get into it. So for this first DIY, I wanted to share with you guys these wooden heart pieces. Now I found these, I want to say at the end of fall, the beginning of the Christmas decor, and I picked them up. They're still in store. They're actually not a seasonal item, but you know how it goes with the Dollar Tree. If you snooze, you lose. So I did pick them up then, fair warning. They do still have them in my store now. They're actually located on the crafting aisle on the bottom shelf in my store in a box with a few other options. They are just shapes on a stick, so I picked up 3 of the heart ones, and they also had, I believe, like a stop sign, a star, a few to choose from, so that's where to find them. Now I decided I wanted to do a little bit more modern take on Valentine's Day, so I did tape off a section at the bottom of the sticks using some painter's tape. I just did basically 2 heights worth, and then I used my favorite stain, which is an early American oak, and I just went ahead and used a rag to rub it on. Now I do want to mention that where they joined the stick to the wooden heart, it was a little bit harder to get the stain to stick there because they used way too much glue. So give it some patience, maybe dab it on and let it dry without necessarily rubbing it off. Now once I had them all stained, I removed my painter's tape and went back over the stained portion with a bit of painter's tape, and that way I was able to paint a nice crisp clean line of black paint along the bottom. So they're going to have sort of a two-tone bottom, and you guys will see why here in a second. So I know that this isn't traditionally a Valentine color scheme, but you could always do this and maybe do a red bottom, a pink bottom, or any list of non-traditional Valentine colors that suit your style. Whatever it is, you could definitely customize this project. Now, I needed something for them to stand in, and thank God I have a super duper handy husband who just gave me one of the boards we had lying in our garage with a couple of holes in it. Now, if you don't have one of those handy dandy husbands, you could always get 2 of the pieces of wood from Dollar Tree, place the hearts standing between them, and then sandwich them together with a little bit of hot glue. I did this last year in one of my other projects for Easter, and it worked like a charm. Now you will see that I actually did paint that piece black, and that's why I carried the black up on the sticks to the heart, just to make it sort of cohesive. Now if you are fortunate enough to be able to drill holes, this is going to store really well. You just pop those little sticks right out of the base, lay them flat, put it away, takes up no space until next year. I love projects like this that bring a little hint of the season, cost almost nothing, and store really nicely so you don't have a ton of totes in your life to manage. So I was looking around, and there's this thing in my kitchen that I think it needed a new look. So I have a cutting board. I got it from Ross. It was a really great price. We have used it. It needs a makeover. I'm no longer going to be using it for food. I've gotten lots of others for that purpose. So I'm going to use this decoratively. So I decided to go ahead and give it a coat of paint. Now I'm going to be using, like I said, strictly for decor. So I'm just using some black craft paint. Now I went to Dollar Tree and picked up some of their wooden hearts, and I had some of their wooden beads on hand. So I took out a little bit of twine, and I sort of went through all my beads and found the more medium in size of the. Now you could do this in a different order. What I did is I strung my beads on to my twine so that I had the right size, and then I went ahead and finished them with a stain. You could always put these on a nice long wooden skewer, or you could put them maybe on some dental floss, something super thin, yarn, or even thread, or just paint them or stain them however you want. So this is how I did it. If I did this one over, I probably would have put them on a wooden skewer to stain them, but I didn't want them just rolling around while I did that. So I did want to sort of control what they did. So I did go ahead and I strung on my heart, and you're probably saying this looks familiar. That's because our last shop with me, which was a spring decor shop with me at Hobby Lobby, this is one of the first things I saw on one of their displays, and they have a lot of beautiful things out for spring, so definitely go check that video out. But I knew I could dupe this at a fraction of the cost. Now, they had it coupled with a cutting board, which adds to the price, but I knew I had one I needed to make over anyways. So this is a complete Hobby Lobby dupe, and I actually think I like mine a whole lot better. It's in my color scheme for my kitchen, and theirs was sort of a white cutting board with, I think, also wood tone heart and beads. So then I just strung the strings through the beads again, because I don't like it when you just have sort of a endless bit of string hanging off of something. And again, using my favorite stain, which is Early American. It's sort of a medium oak finish, and I stained the heart, and I also stained the beads. Now, the beads, staining them was a little tricky, I would say. So definitely think about how you want to do this. I had a scrap piece of fabric I was working with, and I also had my stir stick, so I sort of dabbed it on, hoping it would drip between each bead. That wasn't necessarily the case, even with lots of rubbing. So I then went in with a paintbrush right between all the beads to make sure that they got fully covered, and then I added even more, and here's the finished product. I just put this in a corner in my kitchen with my new little lantern from my last decor haul, and I think it is perfect. So I have a very stark white kitchen. I wanted to add some warmth, and I have a lot of black and wood tone and just a little hint of the season. I think this is perfect. Maybe below it I'll put a little plate full of something, a little special treat for Valentine's Day. I love things like this that are just timeless. You could really have this on a cutting board year round, but it definitely adds that little hint of Valentine's Day without being too much work at all. Now, I did want to share this DIY with you guys. I'm actually making a few of these for friends in my life who have birthdays in February, and I had seen something like this, I believe, on Instagram, a much larger version. People are using them as lawn ornaments. I wanted to create a miniature version, so I just took 2 of the bowls you can find in a 12 count from the Dollar Tree, and if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't have used the hot glue. I just added some of their shred and some hugs and kisses to it, but you could definitely get away with just taping the edge of the bowls together. And then I took a wooden skewer from the Dollar Tree. I just hot glued it upside down. And then I took my loot bags. I always have these on hand for gifting. And this is the perfect little wrapper for this oversized lollipop or treat lollipop. You could put anything in there, including a gift card would fit perfectly. Now, I started playing around with the bag around the lollipop to see how it would fit, and I did decide to just trim off a little bit at the bottom. To me, it was just a little bit too long. Quick and easy fix with my scissors, and then I gathered it and added a bow. And I think this is a really fun, creative gift for anyone at any time of year. You could personalize it for any holiday. This would also be a great way to ask someone to the prom, anything like that, but these are going to be gifts for those in my life with birthdays near Valentine's Day. Now, I love Valentine's Day because it's a great time to use up things that you thought you were going to need at Christmas. So I picked up these Snyder's snaps. They're just pretzel squares from the Dollar Tree in December, thinking that I would have time in December, which was crazy to begin with, to make these. So all you're going to need are some hugs or kisses. Now, I do recommend the hugs over the kisses because they do melt a lot nicer and quicker, a lot cleaner and less chalky than the regular kisses. So I mixed them together. They were fine, but I would say go with hugs. Now, if you do the hugs and kisses together, you just put one on each of the square pretzels, and then you pop it into an oven at 200 until they're just barely melted. The problem of doing them together is that the milk chocolate melts a little bit slower than the white chocolate. So as you'll see, the white chocolates were all melted and easy peasy. You add an M&M on top and they just sink into the pretzel and they're perfect. Now with the milk chocolate kisses, you add an M&M on top and they're very stubborn. They're not quite melted enough. But I do think this is a fun little treat. It'd be a great way to get the kids involved in something for Valentine's Day. And they make a great little salty and sweet treat. These would be great for any kind of Valentine party or even just as a gift in a little baggie. You could also fill up a mug for a teacher with them. I think these make the perfect gift for anyone and they're super simple and inexpensive to make. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing those DIYs. I have been really just taking in this season of life, enjoying things, thrifting a lot. If you guys would like to come thrifting with me, I would really like to know. Comment down below and let me know. And I believe that our next trip out is going to be shopping. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you back very soon.